Hi, I'm John. This is my show, An American Scheme, where I'm proving that Diana Ross is Michael Jackson's actual mother. Okay, I'm going to show you proof and give you actual evidence of why Michael Trapson is a fraud, and he's actually a Michael Jackson thief, and he does not care about Michael Jackson, okay? So this is him giving commentary back to, responding to like the accusations that the karma, that he deserved his karma and stuff, right? Listen to this.
There were some people out here throwing salt on my name, saying that this is all karma. And I wanted to let you guys know that it wasn't karma at all. It was a test. Now, the reason why I say it's not karma is because I have things taken from me. Things were stolen from me. I was violated. I was invaded. My personal space was invaded. Privacy invaded. Did I invade anybody's privacy? Did I steal anything from anybody? I don't steal anything. Everything I got it on my own.
Okay, so the reason I'm directly saying this is a perfect example of karma is because I have been trying to speak with Michael Trapson. Now, you people don't know is that Michael Trapson totally knows who I am. He has acknowledged my name. He actually read an email that I sent him. He actually read it on one of his live streams because he played a video. Because what happened was when River Gibbs, when the River Gibbs situation happened, Michael Trapson acknowledged me as being the main person out there that was hounding River Gibbs, and I was calling him a fraud. Okay, so then River Gibbs proved himself to be a fraud. That should have at least given me a little bit of credibility for Trapson to at least speak to me. Okay, but then so I sent him an email saying this is what's going on, I'd just like to speak to you. He didn't have to do anything, but he could have just sent me back an email, as simple as that, and then I could have said, here, just watch one of my videos and just give me your opinion. That's all I've ever asked him to do. That's it. But he couldn't do that. So what he did was he then, on a live stream, he read, okay, so somebody told him, oh, what happened was he was talking about the River Gibbs, and then he said he was acknowledging that I was going after River Gibbs. And then he said, oh yeah, he was talking about me, and he says, yeah, he made a video about me and it was no big deal. And then so it's like, oh, well, he didn't think that was any big deal, so to me, I took that as a challenge. Okay, I'm gonna make another video about you and I'm gonna dig into you, right? So I made another video. He was doing another live stream. Somebody told him, hey, An American Scheme just made a video for you. And he said, send me the link. And then he played it on his live stream. And so he didn't understand that I was going to go after him. The way that he doesn't understand I have actual talent. And I know how to make jokes. And I know how to make a joke that's going to dig into your soul. So I did that, right? Because he had challenged me and said, oh, he was doing stuff, but it was no big deal. So I was like, okay, let me hit you a little bit harder then, right? So then he played the new video that I had made about him. He played it on his live stream, and I got him good. And at the end of it, he's freaked out because of my joke that I made about him. Oh shit! It was so good. It was so good. So he freaked out, and then because he's freaked out, then he said, "Oh, you know what? This bastard sent me an email." And so then he read my email live and totally clowned on me, which actually is one of the funniest videos ever. I laugh freaking so hard when I watch the replay of it. It's really, really funny and shit, right? So I'm not actually insulted about what he did. That's not the point. It's not a big deal. I do think that he should not have done it. I thought it was really low class for him because I made a joke about him in a video for him to read a private email. The whole thing, he read the whole email and shit and was clowning on me the whole time and shit, right? Never responded to me in the email. Never just said, okay, hey dude, what are you talking about? What is this about? You know? Never anything. And it's like, dude, he knows I was going after River Gibbs, and then I started coming after him. It's like, I'm not here trolling you guys. I'm here trying to speak to you about Michael Jackson. It's as simple as that. I've made it clear and abundantly clear. So then I made videos and videos and videos about him over and over to where I know he was watching them, and he responded a couple times. And then I rewrote his Neverland Dungeon song, right? And I made a video about that, and I rewrote it, and I was dogging on him hard. I mean, I went after him really bad. And then he put a comment on that video, and he said, if you want to speak to me, this is not the way to do it. And it's like, dude, we've been doing this for a long time now. You won't speak to me. I'm trying to get your attention any way I can because what I've got to talk to you about is super important. If you represent yourself as somebody who claims to care about Michael Jackson and you're a defender of Michael Jackson, if that is true, if that is actually true, you cannot deal with what I'm trying to have a conversation with you about. And it's like, but I said, fine. Have the conversation. Let me show you some of my evidence. At that point, if you don't want to do it, I'll just flat out say, yeah, Trapson was a stupid fraud idiot, but I will leave you alone at that point. That's no problem. If you're too stupid and you're not willing to, I just need to know that you've actually seen some of my evidence. I need to know. That's all. I cannot stop that. Unless I know that you have actually watched my stuff and you actually have made a decision to say, no, it's not real. But it's like, dude, okay, if you have a question about it, I'm right here. More than willing to speak to you. Why would you not speak to me? It is ridiculous. Like, just as far the simple stuff, it's like you sit here and you say, oh, I respect anybody who watches my videos. Well, the reason I went so hard after all your videos and stuff, because I wanted to prove to you that I've watched all of your stuff. And that's why I was so good at making the videos that attacked you. Because I watched all of your videos. I know your stuff as good as anybody out there, right? You don't respect me. You know, I'm a real Michael Jackson fan from the era from which you are fucking totally dedicated to. Like, I did the things that you wish you could do. I saw Michael Jackson in the Victory Tour in Los Angeles. I saw Michael Jackson get his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. In that crowd, I was there. I've got the Michael Jackson collection from 1984. All the magazines and the buttons and all the stuff that you wish you could have. I actually bought them. I was buying the magazines off of the rack. Dude, I was there. I lived through that fucking era. Dude, I've seen Captain fucking EO at Disneyland number of times. You never fucking did any of that shit. So when you try and represent yourself as like freaking, you got your Glow Gang and you're Mr. Trapson, Mr. 1984, and it's like, dude, you're all that stuff and you can't respect me who was actually fucking there when it all happened? And I watch your videos. You got no respect for me. I just want to have a conversation about Michael Jackson with you, and you're not capable of doing that. So because after all of this stuff has happened, I come out and I say he's a fraud. He is not a Michael Jackson fan. He can't be. He's not a fan of people out here in the world because he disrespects me on the highest level. He's not capable of understanding the story of that I'm the one actually out here defending Michael Jackson. My story clears up everything. I actually tell the story that Michael Jackson couldn't tell. He left it behind in his work, but you had to be a fucking genius to figure this shit out. So there only was going to be one person, the first person who ever did it. That person is me. I'm the fucking person explaining Michael Jackson's songs. Some of his favorite songs, Wanna Be Starting Something, I've actually explained that song. I actually have named Billie Jean. That in itself is fucking massive, that I've actually explained the actual lyrics. When you look in the story I'm telling about Diana Ross being Michael Jackson's mother, then when you align it to Billie Jean and you align it to the actual dates of Michael Jackson's life and then you align it to the lyrics, you see it's a perfect fucking match. It can't be wrong because it's a perfect fucking match. There's no way I'm wrong. So I know I'm right because I've got, plus, when I went searching and started doing this investigation, I didn't know that I was going to find the evidence that I found. But I found Diana Ross saying that she was literally sleeping in Smokey Robinson's house at the time Michael Jackson's conceived. Well, how the fuck did I ever think I was going to find that? Just from having a notion. You know what, is Diana Ross Michael Jackson's real mother? Because I fucking had that thought. So then I started the investigation, and that's over 10 years ago now, and it's never stopped because I could never be proven wrong. But oh my God, have I found real evidence. Like I said, I've explained Billie Jean. I've fucking named the Billie Jean. There is an actual Billie Jean. That song's true. It's about Diana Ross telling Michael Jackson that she was his real mother when he was 10 years old. Michael's the kid in the song. Diana Ross is Billie Jean. It happened at her house. she was filming the movie Lady Sings the Blues. That's why the first line says she was more like a beauty queen from a movie scene. Because it's Billie Jean and she's playing Billie Holiday in the damn movie. Then when he says, she calls me to her room, this happens much too soon. That line right there, it's much too personal for like all of the mythical stories about what you have about Billie Jean. Okay, she calls me to her room, this happened much too soon. Okay, but then he says, Billie Jean's not my lover. Well, if she called him to her room, this happened much too soon, but then he's proclaiming over and over that she's not my lover. So, see, it's contradictory. When she calls me to the room and it happened much too soon, but then he says she's not my lover. Well, he's telling you, if you people believe Michael Jackson, he's telling you, I didn't have sex with that woman. So then you have to think, well, okay, well, she called me to her room, this happened much too soon. What the hell is he talking about then if it's not sexually related? Oh, then you find out the reality that when Michael Jackson's 10 years old, that he's actually living in Diana Ross's house. I didn't know, I mean, that I probably knew. That was something I probably did know, but it wasn't like in my head. That's not how I built the story, but I had heard that before because it's in the Oprah interview and I had seen that when it happened. And so that's a thing that, you know, it was in my subconscious. That was one of those things I admit. That would have been in my subconscious. All of the other things I found, you know, I didn't know I was going to find the things I found. But it's like, see, it's one of those things too. It's like, I was a real fan. All of those fucking live things in the documentaries, but I saw all of that stuff when it happened, you know? And so I did have a lot of information. That's what enabled me. Like, when Diana Ross didn't go to the Michael Jackson's memorial, I don't know. I don't hear anybody bitching about that. When it happened, like, I was pissed. I can't even explain to you, like, when Diana Ross didn't show up at the memorial, I was in shock. It was a big deal, because I known she was placed in the wheel, and then she wrote the letter that she sent and stuff, which was read by Smokey Robinson, and what she says in there is real important and stuff. But see, it was the buildup of all of those things occurring, and then, like I said, when you want to know what happened with me, is that about 6 months after Michael Jackson died, I watched the movie Lady Sings the Blues, starring Diana Ross, her first movie, playing Billie Holiday, which she's filming at the time when Michael Jackson's living in her house. That's why she calls me to her room. That shows you that the lady's in charge. She called me to her room. It's because Michael Jackson, and this happens much too soon, because Michael's only 10 years old. She calls me to her room. This happens much too soon. Billie Jean's not my lover because she's his mother. That's what Billie Jean's all about. It's about Diana Ross telling Michael Jackson when he was 10 years old that she was his real mother. That's what the song Billie Jean's about. That's when you look at it, the time, the lyrics, the dates and stuff, it all adds up. And I've got actual piles of real evidence to really show it. It's just, I'm not wrong. There's no way I'm wrong. But even if I was wrong, you should fucking at least give me an opportunity to explain this shit, because I'm giving you real dates and I'm really aligning the stuff in a way that nobody's ever done. So if Michael Trapson was any form of a real Michael Jackson fan, how could he not at least listen to a person who's saying, hey, I've got real evidence and real explanation for, like, Billie Jean? But he won't even talk to me? Okay, so I've declared him as a fraud. I've declared him as a loser. Oh my God, and a thief. And he's actually, what he's doing is, he didn't have talent to make it off of his own work when he started to try and become a musician as O.G. Kano. He didn't make it, okay? So you did not make, he says he's, like here, he says, I'm doing my own thing. I make my, no, you did not make it as O.G. Kano. What you did is then you leached off of Michael Jackson's talent, and you've now built a career from stealing off of what Michael has already done, and you've just changed it. Now you do some things that are cool, and I'll give you credit that you've got some ability and stuff. I'm not knocking you. I do enjoy your work, and the stuff you do is creative. You've got some ability, but it's 1,000 times easier to, it's like a Weird Al Yankovic. Okay, Weird Al's not making his own songs and shit, but the songs that he was making, like Eat It and shit, Just Eat It, those songs are pretty fucking funny, and I'm fat, you know it. But those songs were already created. The whole thing was already created. So just to alter it a little bit it's not very hard. It's a simple thing. Much more simple than actually creating the shit. So Michael Jackson made it. You stole from it. And if you're not willing to defend Michael Jackson as the person you claim to be, then you're a fraud. And that's why I said it was karma for him, because I keep saying that he's not a real Michael Jackson fan, not capable of actually defending him, so that makes him an actual thief. That's why when he got his stuff hacked and they were stealing his money, that's a perfect definition of what karma is. It was karma. He got bad karma because he won't deal with me and he won't defend Michael Jackson, because that's why he's placed here in this position, because he's the person that's supposed to help me and we're going to break the story. But he won't do it. And if he won't do it, then he's a fraud, and now he's not helping Michael Jackson. He's actually stealing from him, and karma caught up to him, and they fucking attacked him in the perfect way of what I'm saying, how karma could get him. They attacked his Michael Jackson money. It made him have to stress out. It's perfect karma. Exactly what I'm saying, because he's a thief. Now I'm going to show you some more stuff here. So this is from the page The Detail. And now I say the same thing about the page The Detail. They're thieves. They don't care about Michael Jackson because they sell Michael Jackson memorabilia related stuff on their page and all the stuff, because that's all they're really there to do. They don't care about the truth. But in their videos, they do the same thing. Like I say, I don't totally knock. I like some of the stuff Trapson does. Okay, I like some of the research that The Detail does. Like, I'll use some of that stuff. Some of it's interesting. Now, here's a piece from The Detail's latest video called 1984 Michael Jackson Year in Review. This just happened, okay? And see, that's what I'm saying. This is one of those karma things. When I needed the evidence to be able to relate to Michael Jackson being a thief, or to Michael Trapson being a thief of Michael Jackson, then what happens in the next video? The Detail makes a video about 1984, and what's in the video? Talking about Michael Jackson thieves.
Armed with a court order and a list of offenders, Michael Jackson's men struck without warning. The investigators hired by Jackson missed nothing. They seized bootleg t-shirt transfers. They scooped up thousands of Jackson buttons. They loaded up on t-shirts. Investigations show that almost everybody is trying to rip off Michael Jackson.
See? Everybody's trying to rip off Michael Jackson. This is the thing that Michael Jackson had to deal with his whole life, protecting his brand and his image. He owns that stuff, right? So Michael Trapson, you can go to the Michael Trapson store, okay, and there's Michael Jackson on a shirt that Michael Trapson is selling you. Michael Trapson is taking Michael Jackson's image, posting it on a shirt, and now he's selling it to you, and Michael Trapson makes money off that, and the Jackson estate gets nothing. Okay? Now, Trapson EO, now Trapson did a cool thing, right? But like I said, with like Weird Al Yankovic, Captain EO is a thing. And Trapson stole from Captain EO and altered it and created a Trapson EO. He put a lot of work into it, created some songs, and did. It's total. I get it. I appreciate what he did. I like it. Okay, but without Captain EO existing, then there's never even a thought of Trapson EO. And that's what Trapson is saying, no, I'm doing this. It's like, no, you're not. No, you are not. You are stealing from Michael Jackson, because without the existence of Captain EO, this would never exist. So you can't say that you've done this on your own. Now this shirt, is it stealing from Michael? Technically, I'm not sure about that one, because it's technically that's your logo and shit, you know. But what you did is you stole from Michael Jackson's, you know, his work, and you created something on your own, you know. So you definitely stole from his work. There's no doubt about that. You know, that's obvious. So, and he's making shirts off of it and all the stuff of what he does, right? That's what I'm saying. He definitely profits off of Michael Jackson's hard work and Michael Jackson's image and Michael Jackson's creations, and he does not repay the estate. And not only that, he's unwilling to defend Michael Jackson by listening to what my story is. Now, I'm just going to show you one piece about my story, because this one is super important, okay? Just one little piece, but it's super important, about Diana Ross being Michael Jackson's real mother.
Could be part of my family.
Yes.
We have a lot of the same bone structure and a lot of skin color.
Well, Michael does now, because he's had it all done. You take that as a compliment?
Cannot. I refuse you to insult Michael. He's a friend of mine.
Yeah.
I love him,
Yeah.
and I don't like people making fun of him.
No, but he...
She got real serious, okay? When she started this off, though, she says, he could be part of my family. We have the same bone structure. This is not something I created. This is Diana Ross. This is Diana Ross speaking. Now, and I always say that this one is super important because I have her calling Michael my child and my son and my baby, but those can be brushed away. Okay, but within the context of the story I'm telling you, that Diana Ross is Michael Jackson's real mother, this right here is one of the things that, with me telling that story, this is a thing that should not exist. It's like I said, like the Trapson EO would not exist without Captain EO, okay? This would not exist unless Diana Ross is actually Michael Jackson's mother. Unless she's actually Michael Jackson's mother, she never would have said this. This would not exist. This one is super important. A lot of you people don't understand how important it is, but I do. I know this would not exist unless she's actually his mother. She has no right to ever have said those words, that he could be part of my family. Why is she saying that when Michael's not, he's not supposed to be, you know, part of her family? Not, you know, not in that way. Not when she says, we have the same bone structure. She's talking about a blood relation. She's saying part of my family. Not like linked through marriage and stuff. Because there is a thing too where just recently I was like, oh, you know what? You know what's one of the funny things is I forgot that Jermaine Jackson had married one of Berry Gordy's daughters, right? Okay, well, Berry Gordy has a child, has Rhonda Ross Gordy, so Berry Gordy has a child with Diana Ross. So through that, if Michael is just part of the Jackson family, then he's related to Jermaine, who married into the Berry Gordy, and so through the Berry Gordy connection, then he's related to Diana Ross because they, you know, so I just was thinking about that the other day. It's like, oh, you know what? They're actually related. They're actually family through marriages and shit, okay? But when you're talking about that now we're way off there. We're in through marriages and shit. Those are distant connections and shit, right? It does not justify her saying this. When she, now if she was going to say, oh, he could be part of my family, but when she says we've got the same bone structure, we've got the same skin color, what she's telling you, and what she does too is when she says we got the same bone structure and she goes across her chin right there, that's why you always see Michael and Diana in these photographs that looks like they're kissing and looks like they're putting their face in an intimate position and stuff, but what they were actually doing is Diana's showing you we have the same bone structure. That's why those photographs are actually like that, where you people have always saw it as a love relationship or something going on, but when you hear this and she shows you when she rubs her chin, we have the same bone structure. What she's actually doing is she's telling you that Michael is her kid, and if you look at the pictures, now it gives the truer explanation of all of the pictures you've seen of Michael and Diana, where their faces are so close together. It's because Diana was showing you, we've got the same bone structure. This is my kid. That's the true story. There's no doubt about it. I've got serious evidence and real documents, and the biggest thing about people when they don't know, there's two major things, is that Michael Jackson is born during the creation of Motown happening. This is why Michael had to be given away, because Berry Gordy's trying to figure out how to create a record company with Smokey Robinson. And Diana Ross is only 14 years old when this happened, so Berry Gordy could not risk what ends up being Motown. Berry Gordy knew what he was doing. He's building a record company, but they haven't built it yet. They're on the verge. He's met Smokey Robinson. They're trying to build the company, and right when that happens, Diana gets pregnant by Smokey, which I've got her documented saying she's sleeping in his house. That's another big one that's like, I didn't make this shit up. I didn't know about that. You know, I could say one thing, it was on the Arsenio Hall show, and I don't know if I saw that when it happened, but I could have. But so it's like one of those things that could have been in my subconscious way back there, but I definitely was not aware of it. I was never thinking about it, but when I went and found it, it is one of those things that I used to watch Arsenio Hall. I possibly could have seen that. You know, I don't know if I did, or I don't know if I saw it or not when it happened. But as I went and found it, she says that Smokey Robinson was her first love. And then when she says that, it's a big deal too, because when you know the real story, that at that time that Smokey Robinson's he's dating Claudette, and Claudette's in the band The Miracles, and then Claudette's actually the first woman signed to Motown. So when she's saying that she's in love with Smokey Robinson, it's so disrespectful to Claudette. who's a member of the Motown family. When Diana Ross is saying Michael could be part of my family, we got the same bone structure. That's so disrespectful to Katherine Jackson. It's like, why do you keep trying to claim Michael as your son when he's supposed to be part of the Jackson family and the child of Catherine and Joe? It's really disrespectful. But she kept doing this stuff because she really wants the world to know. And this is the big, so with my story, the two biggest things is that when you understand my story, like, because I've done the investigation, that what happened, that, like I said, the reason they gave Michael away because it happened right at the development of Motown. That's when Michael's born. And the other thing that's big is, how did Michael end up in the Jacksons' house? Then what you find out is that Joseph Jackson and Berry Gordy are the same age. And when you track back in their history, you find out that they were both fighting in the Golden Gloves at the same time. And then after that, they both were in the music business. And then there's a much bigger understanding that it wasn't Detroit and Motown. That wasn't the big record scene, the music scene. The big music scene was happening in Chicago. And that's right. So Chicago's right above Gary, Indiana. That's where Joseph, he knew all the artists in that Chicago music scene. And it was the big music scene, and the big connection is Chess Records. I'm not going to get all into it, but there's massive things like Berry Gordy's sister marries a guy that's a big executive. His name's Billy Davis. Billy Davis ended up being a big executive for Chess Records. He actually is famous for, I think he came up with the slogan, I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. There's a song about Coca-Cola. I think it's a Coca-Cola logo, a song that he wrote. Billy Davis wrote that. But so Billy Davis, he's from Chess Records, but he marries Berry Gordy's sister. But Billy Davis was also a songwriter with Berry Gordy. There's real serious connections, and those connections are taking place in Chicago, which shows that Berry Gordy would have been he would have known all those people too, because Berry Gordy was in the songwriting business. He was actually a songwriter before he became owner. He was a songwriter for Jackie Wilson. There's so much to it, but as you can just tell by me speaking, I've done the investigation. I have the knowledge now to back it up. And when I can speak like this about Michael Jackson and the development of Motown, I can speak about Michael Jackson's career, the way it developed. I can speak about his songs in a way that nobody does. And I'm not worthy for Michael Trapson to give his attention to at least have one conversation with me. That's what I'm telling you. He's a fraud. And because I have proven that he's a fraud, karma hit him and fucking took his Michael Jackson money, stole some of his Michael Jackson money away from him to show that's exactly the perfect. I couldn't have asked for anything better to happen to him. Then that's exactly what they did, because that was real karma. Because I'm telling you that my story is a big deal. It's a big thing that needs to be told. And the major thing about why it needs to be told, there's a lot of reasons why it needs to be told. But the biggest thing is that Diana Ross is alive and Smokey Robinson are alive. And that's why I yell at people so much, and I'm so urgent on this now. Like, come on, we got to get this out, because if they die, it's like, Michael's dead. He can't ever tell his story anymore. But you know who could really tell his story? And it's like, that's what I'm saying. Don't trust me. I want to be challenged by Diana Ross. I want to be challenged by Smokey Robinson. I want to be challenged by Berry Gordy. I will destroy the Jackson family, because they're so afraid for the world to know that Michael's not a blood relation to their family, so they're really timid. It would be incredibly easy for me to just destroy them, because they couldn't put up any fight against me, because I would easily just run over them and shit. So the Jackson family's too weak. Like Taj Jackson, oh my God, he's pathetic. I'd just eat him up, and he would never dare step into the ring and the Michael Jackson conversation ring with me and challenge me. He's not capable of doing it. None of them are. But you know who is? The ones that matter? Diana Ross and Smokey Robinson. Michael Jackson's real parents, who are both still alive. And so that's what I'm saying. When you people say that, and see, my story, people don't like the true story, that my story leads to Michael Jackson being a virgin. But my story of understanding that Michael Jackson's a virgin also proves that he's not a pedophile. Now, all you people want to think that you can prove he's not a pedophile. You did not do it. It's not working. But my story actually gets all of the people, like the people out there that think Michael Jackson's a pedophile, the stuff of what all you people have done, you've done nothing to change their minds. But my story will, because it's true. And that's what I'm saying. You guys are not fighting for Michael Jackson the way that I am. And my story actually frees Michael Jackson from these accusations. But I can't get anybody to give me a little bit of time and watch any of my work. You know, that's what I'm saying. I make my videos. It's hard for me when I'm actually explaining because I have so much stuff. My videos always end up 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I just ramble on and they just go on and on and on. So I have to just like try and make them as fast as I can. And then the people yell at me and it's like, dude, look I just showed you a couple little things and it turned into a 30-minute video. When I show you all the other stuff, you have to look. I actually have hundreds of videos because that's what it takes to actually tell all of the information of what I have. And so the people, they watch one video and then they just say, no, it's not true. And then they don't ever come back. They don't ever challenge me. They don't watch my videos. The people that do watch my videos, they're just constantly like, oh my God. This is incredible. But they know the reality of it is that once they start getting my story and they can discuss it, when they go and discuss it with other people in the world, those people just treat them bad. And then they see what I'm dealing with. And then so they go away. They know the truth, and that it's just one of those things that they know the truth and they know where to find the person that's telling the truth, you know. But then they're not out there fighting with me and shit, you know, because everybody's got other things to do in their life and shit. So I don't get any people that are really fighting with me and shit. I don't get much of it. You know, I had the one James L. who helped me a lot, but it still hasn't gotten. It's, you know, it did good things and stuff, but it didn't break the story. It's still not broken where I need Trapson. I need a real person that claims to be a Michael Jackson representative. He's the one that I've always been going off after, which is me totally giving him respect. But does he ever give me any respect back? Never. It's pathetic. And it's like, don't do it for me, do it for Michael Jackson. Look at some of my work. And like I said, if you look at my videos and stuff, and if you don't think that, okay, this is something interesting, then go ahead and walk away. But when you watch the stuff that I show you, he knows what's going to happen. He's going to see shit interesting, and then he's going to have to start getting in the fight. But he's scared. He's a fake fraud, thief, and loser, and he won't get in the fight. That he knows exactly what the problem is. He knows that I'm doing something, and he knows if he actually opens his eyes and investigates into what I'm doing, it's going to force him to make a change. You know, make that change, but he won't do it. Because I tell you, and why won't he do it? Because he's concerned about Michael Trapson. He is not concerned about Michael Jackson, and that's why fucking karma hit him. And he thinks that things are fine, and it's like, it's not, Trapson. I'm telling you, you're in danger. People around you are in danger. This is real shit because karma hits like a fucking brick house falling on you, dude. Things can get much worse because you're supposed to be fucking helping me and you're not. Fucking just have a conversation with me. That's all you gotta do.